You will die within the hour. Not by sword, not by arrow. The chroniclers will not even agree on your number among the dead. One count will say 6,000. Another will say 10. You don't know that yet. Level 1. The Gilded Spur. You are 26 years old. Agincourt Field. October 24, 1415. Rain has fallen for 2 days without stopping. Your spurs are gold-plated. You earned them at your dubbing. 7 years ago. Tonight they sink past the ankle, into mud that used to be a wheat field. Tomorrow is the feast of Crispin and Crispinian, 2 saints. No one important to this war. Around the fire, the older lords are laughing. 6 French knights, they say, for every Englishman standing in the cold dark to the north. 6 to 1. Good odds. You touch the hilt of your sword. You try to feel as certain as they sound. You do not. Level 2. The Muster. Your father fought at Poitiers 59 years ago, and lost. He never spoke of it. Not once. Not even drunk. You were called to this field the way your family is always called. A letter. A seal. 40 days of service owed to your lord. You did not ask why. You packed your armor and rode north. Duty does not require a reason. It only requires a horse. Level 3. The ones pushed to the back. Your army has thousands of crossbowmen. Men who could shoot as far as the English. They are not at the front. Precedence comes before tactics tonight. The great lords want the glory of first contact for themselves, for their sons, for their names in the chronicles. The commoners with the ranged weapons that might have won this fight are told to wait behind the horses. You do not question the order. No one does. Level 4. The banners. Your family colors fly beside 100 others tonight. Blue and gold, red and silver, black lions on white fields. Every house has its mark. Stitched by hand, carried for generations. Tomorrow those same colors will make it easy to know whose son fell where. Tonight they only look beautiful, snapping wet in the wind above the camp. Level 5. The company you keep. 2 men ride beside you tomorrow. One is your cousin, 19 years old, on his first campaign. The other you have known since squire training. He once broke his arm falling from a horse. Laughing at your jokes. Tonight you share bread, and a little wine, and the kind of silence men share when none of them wants to say what they are thinking. Level 6. The unsent letter. You have a letter half written to your wife, folded under your breastplate where the wax will not run. It says the things men say before a battle they expect to survive. That the campaign goes well. That the odds favor you. That you will be home before the frost sets in properly. You meant to finish it tonight. Add one more line. Seal it. Hand it to a rider heading south in the morning. You do not. There is too much wine passed between commanders who have never stood in a shield wall. Too much laughter for a night that should hold none. Past midnight you fall asleep sitting upright. Sword across your knees. Rain finds its way through the tent seam onto your neck. The letter stays half written. Against your chest. For the rest of its short existence. Level 7. The sick king across the field. What you do not know tonight. The English king is exhausted. Weeks of dysentery have thinned his army by a third. Some of his own men can barely stand upright in their boots. You have heard none of this. All you have heard is 6 to 1. Numbers, it turns out, are not the whole of a battle. You will learn that tomorrow. Level 8. The narrow field. Dawn shows you the ground for the first time. The field between 2 woods, Thermopylae and Agincourt, is barely 700 paces wide. Freshly plowed, soaked through, turning to paste under boots that have not marched a single step yet. Your commanders have chosen pride over ground. The English have chosen ground over pride. Somewhere in that mud, sharpened stakes are being driven at an angle, aimed at the height of a horse's chest. You do not see them yet. By noon, you will. Level 9. The horse you leave behind. The order comes down before the advance. Dismount. The ground is too soft, too narrow. For a cavalry charge to work as planned. You hand your horse to a page. You stand in the mud on your own 2 feet. 50 pounds of steel, carried now by your legs alone. Not a saddle. This is not the battle you trained for. It is the only one you get. Level 10. The smell of the field. Wet wool, horse sweat, oiled steel gone cold overnight. Underneath all of it, the plowed earth itself, turned and turned again by boots. It smells less like a field now, more like something opened. You will remember this smell for exactly as long as you have left to remember anything. Level 11. The long wait. Both armies stand and watch each other for nearly 4 hours. No one moves first. Your legs ache, standing in wet steel with no horse beneath you now. Men relieve themselves where they stand. No one will break the line to walk away. Somewhere behind you, a voice begins to sing. The words catch. They spread. Soon half the French line is roaring it into the gray air. Montjoy Saint-Denis, you shout it too. Your throat is raw before a single arrow leaves a single string. Level 12. The failed charge. Impatient cavalry breaks first, without full orders. From the flanks that stayed mounted, 300 riders drive straight at the English stakes. It is meant to scatter the archers before your infantry has to march. It does not work. Horses refuse the sharpened wood at full gallop. They rear. They throw riders. They bolt back through your own lines in blind panic. You step aside just in time. The man beside you does not. Level 13. The order to advance. The signal comes anyway. 20,000 feet start moving through mud that swallows to the shin. Armor that felt light this morning now hangs like a second body strapped to yours. 50 pounds of wet steel. Moving, sinking, moving again. You have gone perhaps 300 paces when the sky changes color above the English line. Level 14. The arrow hail. English longbowmen have waited behind their stakes since first light. Arrows stand point down in the mud in front of them. Ready, fast to draw. They loose a volley that blackens the sky for 1 full second. Then it turns to rain. Your visor holds. Your plate holds. The horses still moving beside you have no visors. They scream. They rear. They crash sideways into the men still walking forward. Level 15. The Duke and the King. Somewhere to your right, the Duke of Alençon cuts his way through to the English king himself. Close enough to swing, his blade shears a piece from Henry's crowned helmet. Then the king's own guard cuts him down. For one heartbeat you believe this day might turn. It does not. The gap the Duke opened closes behind him. The crush that follows swallows the moment whole. Level 16. The gap that closes. You reach the English line for perhaps 90 seconds. Your sword finds one man's shoulder. Another man's shield takes the next blow meant for his skull. You do not know if either man lives. There is no time to know anything. The men behind you are already pushing you forward into the same 3 feet of ground. Level 17. The second wave. Behind your line, the second French battle presses forward. Eager, certain the first wave is winning ground, it is not. They push into backs that have nowhere left to go. This is the moment the field truly becomes a trap. Not from English arrows, but from your own countrymen's momentum. What happens in the next 4 minutes will decide more than the next 4 hours. No one behind you has thought to say so. Level 18. The weapon that never fired. Somewhere behind you, still waiting where they were told to wait. Your crossbowmen never loose a single bolt. The order to bring them forward never comes. No one remembers to send it. The men who might have answered the English arrows stand uselessly in the rear. For the entire battle, exactly where precedents put them last night. Level 19. The crush begins. Panicked horses drive into the front rank. The front rank drives into you. There is nowhere left to step that is not already someone's foot. Someone's fallen shoulder. Somewhere to your left, blue and gold goes down under 3 other men. Your cousin's colors. The ones that looked so beautiful last night above the camp. You do not have time to reach him. You do not have time to learn if reaching him would have mattered. The field that was 700 paces wide has narrowed to less than 300. The two woods pinch in from both sides. 9,000 men are being pressed into a space built for a few hundred. Level 20. The mud that will not let go. Your foot goes down and does not come back up. The suction pulls at your ankle like a hand reaching from underneath the field. The man beside you falls forward, face down. It is the one who broke his arm laughing at your jokes. A lifetime ago, last night, he is not laughing now. He cannot push himself up under 60 pounds of wet steel. You reach down to help him. Someone falls on top of you both. Level 21. The order behind the line. Somewhere behind the English ranks. A command passes down that you cannot yet understand. Pas de quartier. No quarter. French prisoners, already disarmed, already promising ransom in good coin, are being killed where they kneel. Henry fears a second charge from the French reserve at his back. A captured army is a danger he no longer has men to guard. You do not know any of this yet. You only know the screaming has changed pitch. It is no longer the sound of men fighting. It is the sound of men who have already surrendered. Level 22. The ones who ran. Somewhere at the back of the field. A handful of nobles turn and ride clear. They leave before the crush ever reaches them. Their names survive. Their sons inherit their titles on schedule. There is no lesson in this. Only luck. And luck is not something you have left to spend. Level 23. The weight of your own steel. You are on your knees now. Then on your side. 3 men have fallen across your legs. A 4th lands across your chest. You try to lift your sword arm. It does not move. The plate that kept you alive all morning turned every arrow. Every glancing blade. Now it is the exact weight that is killing you. There is no wound on you anywhere. No arrow has found you. No blade has touched your skin in the entire hour. There is only weight, and mud, and steel, and the small closing space where your breath used to go. It grows smaller with every man who falls on top of the last one. You do not hear anything at all. You are already gone before anyone on that field thinks to call it. By dusk the field holds more French dead than English chroniclers can settle on. Some counts say 6,000. Some say more. English losses are recorded as low as 112. A number French writers have never once believed. What is certain is simpler than any count. More of you die crushed and drowned in your own mud than killed by any single blade that day. The Constable of France dies beside you that afternoon. So do the Dukes of Alençon, Bar, and Brabant. The news reaches Paris within the week. An entire generation of French nobility is gone in one afternoon. Dukes, counts, men who ran provinces are now names on a list too long to read aloud at court. For 300 years, a captured knight meant a payday, not a grave. Ransom was the whole economy of chivalric war. You expected it too, somewhere in the part of you that still hoped. Then pas de quartier reached your side of the field. And that hope died with the system that built it. Your gilded spurs marked you a knight 7 years ago. They are found still buckled to feet that never reached open ground again. The age of the mounted knight ends here. Unbeaten for 300 years. Broken in one afternoon that you did not even ride through on horseback. In a plowed field between 2 small woods. In under 3 hours. You lived this once. And now, you are history.